Well, 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 look who's back. It's me, for some reason. Anyways, sorry guys, last week had some things to get to, couldn't make the video. Do want to come back here. Actually, of course, the week I don't make a video, decent week, so I don't want to talk about that. I'm going to forget that happened. But let's move into next week. Looks like we got a clear view of the table now, or at least for the past week, right? A few things though. Number one, please take a look at Bookmaker. I've been saying it and saying it and saying it, and I don't know how many people are actually taking advantage of the 100% bonus. To use the link in the comments below. But let me show you why. Even if you do not fund it, even if you're like, you know what, I'm not putting a single dime in there, that's completely fine. Just open the account so that you can see the up-to-date lines, because I can almost guarantee you it is going to be the sharpest book you have. There's a handful of very sharp books out there that are awesome, that set their own lines, make their own lines, release stuff early. Bookmaker is one of them, and I would say it is probably the best one. It's also the easiest to use. You get your money really, really quickly. Typically, like when I cash out from it, it's within hours. I mean, if that, right? Like if I can put in the request first thing in the morning, by lunchtime I have the cash. So really, really good for that stuff. Super easy setup. But let me show you what I'm talking about as far as the lines, right, for this week. If you're looking at the screen, this is Bookmaker. This is what Bookmaker looks like if you haven't seen it before. One thing in particular I want to show you here, and this is a play that we have, or that I have. So the number one play for the week is going to be the Steelers team total under. If you didn't know, one of the prevalent trends out there is that teams tend to kind of struggle coming off the bye week. They may do fine, they may cover, they may do whatever, but their point total tends to dip a little bit. The players aren't really practicing for the week, kind of mind is off football. Especially, it just kind of gets amplified when the first game back is a home game. So, the thought process just being like, hey, your mind's off of it. You got your vacation from work basically. When you come back to work, you're not traveling. There's no business trips. You're kind of just going through the motions at home. Maybe you don't necessarily really come out of that vacation mode just yet. So there's not something to break that mold. So you're playing at home. Your point totals are going to probably dip. And then on top of that, you're playing the Browns, who have a very solid defense. Now, I know the Browns are coming back from overseas, right? A lot of people are expecting them to kind of have a slow week themselves, maybe not do so well. New quarterback, semi-new quarterback in Dylan Gabriel. They may lose this game. They may get zeroed out. But I do believe their defense is still going to show up. Their defense is going to have a good game here. The Steelers are not like a high-flying offense to begin with. So that, in conjunction with the bye week, in addition to you're playing a top 5 defense across the board, the Browns defense, I believe, is going to keep this game close. So even if you want the Steelers to win, if you're going to take that side of it, by all means, go ahead and do so, tease them down, whatever you want to do. But look at the team totals, and if you look at the team total here for the Steelers, it is at 23.5, and I'll show you where it's at here. Steelers under 23.5. It is juiced. It's at minus 126, but that is the current line here on a Friday morning. Now, if you go to Bovada, which is totally fine. I've used them in the past. Again, not an issue, but I don't really use them much anymore. And I will say, as far as this is concerned, they are kind of the square book. And again, it's totally fine, because if nothing else, you can use them to compare each other. So if we come to the team totals for this, team total here, where we at? Just went right by, didn't I? 21.5. A 2-point difference is huge for team totals, right? Yes, you're not getting to the 24, so you're not exactly getting to the next field goal up. From 21 to 23, though, is gonna give you a nice little cushion. Those 2 points do count. And you're paying 10 cents a juice, so it's not like you're paying an extra $1 or anything. You might as well pocket the 2 points when you can. This could very easily get to 23, right? They get to 20, they kick the field goal, now you're under the 23.5. So you win one, lose one, depending on what book you're at. So look at the Steelers under 23.5. But again, I think you're really only going to find that line on Bookmaker. So that's play number one. Play number two, as we go back here to our list, is actually going to be the Saints under 20.5 team total. That line is available at both Bookmaker and Bovada, same exact 20.5. I will say, though, if you go to Bovada, it is at, I believe, minus 115 right now. I could probably just tell you right now. Let's see what the difference is. It's a minus 105, sorry. Minus 105 at Bovada, whereas Bookmaker, I'm assuming, is probably going to be a little bit more juiced. And of course, this would be awesome if I knew how to read. But either way, take a look. Obviously, you want to get the best line regardless of where you're shopping at. It's the same, minus 105. So that's what I thought. So minus, under 20.5, minus 105. So either way, Saints under 20.5. Now, one thing to look at as we kind of just look at these team totals and where they're sitting at. If we go take a look at the weekly, outcomes for team totals as far as who's done what, who's gone over, under. Looking at the Saints, and I apologize because the screen gets kind of cut off for the video here. The last three is over, under. However, they do have 3 overs and 2 unders. If we look at how many they have allowed, Saints have. Man, I wish I could make this a little bit. There we go. I could try it out a little bit for you. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if I get maybe a better view here. There we go. Okay, so Saints have 4 times that they have kept their opponent under their team total. Their opponent for this week is the Patriots. Patriots have also matched that by keeping their opponents under their total by 4 times. Now, as far as how many times have they gone over, under, just again, this is strictly on team totals. Patriots are 2 unders, 3 overs, so very similar. So we do have these lines that are typically set a little bit maybe low in comparison to what the team has done. However, if you look at the outcomes from the Saints, they've only gone over 20.5 twice because their team total is set notoriously low. We all had very low expectations for this team. And on top of that, the 2 times that they did go over 20.5, one was when they got to 21 in a blowout where they were losing and just had a last-second meaningless touchdown. I want to say it was against the 49ers. And then this last game, when they played against the Giants and they won, and I believe they got to 26, if I remember off the top of my head here, there was 5 damn turnovers in that game, and not to mention some really bad special teams where they just ended up having great field position at the very beginning of it. And even at that, they were really reliant on field goals. They had a pick 6 in this game. They had a pick 6 and still only came out with 26 points. Take off that pick 6, you're still under the 20.5. So, again, not to say that can't happen, but the odds of it happening again are, of course, less now that it has happened once. And against the Patriots team, who is a little bit more conservative, isn't giving as many opportunities for interceptions and big field changes like that, give me the under 20.5. I really love that play. I got to say that is probably my favorite play for the week. In addition to that, let's take a look and see what else here. The last game that we're going to look at as far as just game side and total is going to be the Seahawks. So give me the Seahawks money line. Seahawks Jags over 47. Seahawks money line because the Jags, number one, a lot of what they have done, and yes, they're fine. They're 4-1. It has not been really consistent play. Trevor Lawrence has not done anything to really impress me. Yeah, he's had some plays, he's made some runs here and there, but nothing consistent, nothing where I've been like, man, like I really gotta get behind this dude. It's just he's kind of getting along to get along, and that's about it. I really think the first time that somebody can put up a good scheme against him, it's gonna be an issue. He's also had some really good just kind of game time decisions that went his way, right? Good positions to be in, things like that have made the Jags or put them in a beneficial position, whether it was field position or whether they were leading for most of the game or maybe the other team wasn't really pushing them in pretty much all of their wins. Also, I mean, if you look at who they played, like they were playing, I mean, not that he's bad, but they played backups with Mac Jones and things like that. This is going to be the first game where they come in. They're playing a solid defense. However, that Seahawks defense is missing some pieces. They have some injuries in the backfield, and that's why I like the over. I do believe this is going to be a higher scoring game. I do think that at the end of the day, the Jags are going to score some points, right? Like Brian Thomas should have a good game to not above average game. Hopefully get a score in there. And Trevor Lawrence, like I said, he's going to make some flash plays here and there. Maybe he does use his legs here and there. I think that they're going to get some scores in there. But the Seahawks have been consistent with moving the ball. Cooper Kupp has been great. He's been able to just kind of keep moving the chains. JSN is amazing. This dude makes the downfield catch in every single game. Not that he needs any more pats on the back, but he's just making play after play after play in every single game, and they are deep downfield shots, explosive plays. I don't think the Jaguars really have anybody to match up with him, especially down the field like that. Sam Darnold has been making some good decisions. The protection has been great up front, better than expected, I should say. So a lot of these things really favor the Seahawks, and in addition to that, you still have Kenneth Walker, who is healthy, which is a surprise to me, as well as Zach Charbonnet, who has been decent to good in most every game. They have so much firepower that they can throw at this Jags team, and the Jags, yes, they have some that can come back, but I just don't think it's enough. And I think at the end of the day, Seahawks, whether it's their coaching, whether it's their defensive pressure, or whether it is just the playmakers that are out there, I think you just have everything leaning towards the Seahawks, which is why I like the money line and why I like the over. I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of stops in this one. You may see some good field position starts, whether it's like run backs or turnovers or whatever, but give me the over and give me the Seahawks money line in this one. The Seahawks money line earlier in the week was even money. I believe now it's like minus 105, minus 110, still pretty good price. So that's it for the games. As far as props, if anybody is looking for props out there, I personally like unders. I love unders. They just don't get the juice that the overs get, which kind of makes it a little bit more beneficial for us. Not kind of, it really does. Dalton Kincaid, under 37.5 receiving yards. Let me show you where we're getting that from. This is the Harris Index. It's harrisfootball.com. Christopher Harris, podcaster, fantasy analysts, all that kind of stuff. This index is really, really useful, though, especially for props. You could read the description at the bottom, but basically just showing where the teams excel or struggle at stopping positions on the field. And if you look at Atlanta, it is a -4 for tight ends. They have really shut down tight ends this entire year. The 4 games that they've played, there have been, I believe, at least 2 games where the tight end just did not catch a single pass. In this case, where I believe Bijan's going to just run all over this Buffalo defense, and they're going to maybe have to move the ball a little bit more than expected in this game, I believe Buffalo is going to end up having to look more at receivers or Josh Allen moving the ball with his legs, and you're going to probably get a lockdown on Dalton Kincaid. I wouldn't be surprised if Dawson Knox maybe does something because he's not getting the attention, but give me Dalton Kincaid under his receiving total at 37.5. Chase Brown under 45.5. They are playing the Packers. Packers are amazing at stopping the running back position. Again, obviously here they are the best at stopping it at a -9. This is regarding fantasy points, but same theory applies. Chase Brown behind a terrible Bengals offensive line on a Bengals offense that has just not shown a whole lot. Playing against a Packers defense who's pretty solid, healthier now that they're coming off this bye week. Don't expect a lot of points in this game as far as the Packers are concerned, only again because they're coming off that bye week. Same thing with the Atlanta game. But give me Chase Brown under 45.5 yards. And then lastly is the 2 overs. Justin Herbert over 20.5 rushing yards, mainly because his offensive line is still struggling. They are still banged up. I don't think he's going to feel very comfortable back there. He's going to need to move this ball with his feet. He's probably going to tuck it and run a little bit faster than he would have just a few weeks ago. I would expect at least 3 or 4 rush attempts from him, and there's probably going to be a decent amount of opportunities to scramble and maybe even do some long scrambling, only because they're going to need to pass the ball, and they are going to get pressured, and he's going to be more than willing to run in this game. And then lastly, Blake Corum over 24.5 rushing yards. Obviously, the Ravens are banged up. They have not been able to stop the run at all. Now you're going to play against a Rams offense who's been great, or been very good, I should say, at least for most of this year. We expect them to win. They are a heavy favorite at -7.5. Should be a great game script to run the ball with the Rams. And in addition to that, there is a storm heading that direction as of, again, Friday morning. We're expecting that to be kind of at least a windy game, if not windy and wet, which would minimize the passing, right, in that game. Not to say that there won't be any, but if they are up and they're up big in the third quarter and there's no Lamar Jackson and there's not really a threat coming back from the Ravens, not only do I expect him to run, but I expect him to get some more usage out of Blake Corum and kind of keep Kyron, on ice, keep him a little healthy for next week. So Blake Corum over 24.5 rushing yards. So that's the picks for these guys. Hopefully that was helpful, insightful. Hopefully you're going to tell me on some of these at least. Let's all have a good week. Get some money in the pocket. Let's get moving forward. Holidays are around the corner. Got to pay some bills. You guys have a good day. Good luck. I'll see y'all soon.